What's going on, guys? Sync-WaVey back again with some more GBO2, and we're gonna talk about. We're gonna be doing a top, a tier list soon, right?
Yeah, I'm still tired,
But
man. So
I just
I'm
wanna
only
kind
playing
of
100%, kind of in
like put this
autopilot
one
mode.
out there. I think the Todesritter is currently the best suit in the game right now at 650.
We go back
I
to
mean, and
super
it comes at
classics, bro.
650, so yeah, I think it is the best suit in the game right now. Um, then I feel like Doven Wolf is like the second best. Like, and then I would say the O. The thing is, right, about the O, right, is one dimensional suit. It does one thing really good, right? That is apply pressure in the front line. Obviously because it's got high melee priority, right? The reason why I put it below the Dovin, even though the O can smack the Dovin if it gets close, but you know the Dovin can actually defend itself against the O. Um, like, but it's not really to do with the matchups because you know the O can break the shot dampeners and damage control combined by a beam rifle and then into the sub weapon. Like, it's not about the matchup, right? Because yeah, the O can literally melt the Dovin. Like, if it catches off guard, breaks it, and it's pretty much gonna die, right? Unless you're running a build similar to mine, where I have like uh above 40 melee resistance, so you do survive a combo from the O, but
What?
that doesn't mean nothing, right? The reason
You
why
know
I
how
put
I rank
Dovin
my Dover
above
now?
the O is because of what he does in the team setting, right? And like these are the type of things you need to think about when you do a tier list as well. Um, and because like basically, what does a Dovin give to the team? It gives it multiple stuns. It is a force to be reckoned with.
No,
Like,
still
you
1
can't
HP.
just push it really by yourself. Like, you need some coordination, unless you just play the Dovin. But let's put it to uh let's put a situation where like both the pilots are actually just as good as each other, right? So the Dovin just does way more, right? It can also, it can also help push the front line, right? Because you can't stun it, right? Um, this is massive amounts of damage. It's got the best Jirobi in the game, like the Mega Launcher, best Mega Launcher. Um, being able to move that, and it does ridiculous amounts of damage if you can actually hit it like dead on. Uh, it is crazy. Like, but yeah, the Todesritter, in my opinion, is the best all-around suit because
Yeah, a
it
bit
kind of
legacy.
it kind of does what Dovin does, right? It kind of does what Dovin does, but like at a shorter range, like mid-range, right? And it can dodge roll, and you know it's got a shield, got Hades, makes it be able to
Bombs
double dodge roll,
away!
increase your damage output. It's literally the jack of all trades, man. And this is where I put it as like the Michael Jordan of GBO because he literally does everything. It can dunk on people, it can shoot, you know what I mean? It can set up for people, like, it's got those assists with the stuns. Like, when I mean dunking on people, I literally, I could double stun a single target and get close, downswing it, and do just massive amounts of damage to the suit that I'm fighting, right? I mean, look, I mean, it hurts, right? Like, if it gets in close, it still hurts. If it's at range, it still hurts. It doesn't matter where it's at. It can apply the pressure from any distance, except for from downtown, obviously. But you know, this is probably like the best charging beam rifle. Um, Next to like Zero Shiki. I mean, it's basically Zero Shiki's beam rifle, right? So, but it's this E-Pack. So it's like it literally, it's got the incoms, it's got like all ranged attacks. It literally is so versatile. It's kind of ridiculous. Um, and you can build it any way you really want to build it. Build it like how I got it. It's like more of a kind of it's more of a glass cannon towards melee because as you can see, I'm just popping shots. I don't really go in for melee too much unless I'm in a 1v1 situation or like there's stuns that I already set up. I can literally do whatever I want to do with this suit. That's what makes this suit the best. If I have to be a frontline, like this suit can be a frontline because you got instant stun beam rifle with the shield, and then you got ridiculous follow up after the stuns, like all the time, because it's got so many weapons. The melee hurts. In Hades, my build is disgusting. Like it is like I can one combo an excess and a Dovin. Well, depending on the Dovin, because when you max enhance the Dovin, you can actually get its melee up. But the excess, you can't do that at all. Like excess stays low. It's basically gonna die to the Todesritter in one combo all the time. I mean, this thing is just absolutely amazing. It's so good. Like, there's nothing out here that can really say that, alright, I can do everything that the Todesritter can do. Like, you literally can't, bro. Like Dovin is probably the closest thing to like do what this suit can do, because like the excess, you don't go in for the melee, you stay at range, like, so it's not as versatile as, I mean, you can do your downswings or whatever, but you're not doing like the damage that this suit can do, like with the melee. It's ridiculous. Yeah, especially in Hades, like depending on like the suit that you hit. I mean, even like against the O, like you still like hurt the O, like 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 this suit is definitely no slouch in terms of
against the
how all around it is. Like it hurts long range, it hurts close range, and in my opinion, that's what the best suit is. Like, look how Kibli is the best suit. Why? Because it literally could do everything. Like, like the base damage for the melee is 2,800. So it hurts if you spec it a little bit for melee. It hurts, and obviously range hurts too. The funnels, the instant stuns, like that's the reason why they was the strongest. And obviously it was the only thing really as well. But now we have multiple things. This thing here, the Todesritter, is absolutely disgusting. Like compared to the other suits. Like just think about it. Like think of the matchups that are in the Todesritter's favor. The players just as good as each other. The Todesritter wins most of the time. Like I'm not saying that the O can't wreck the Todesritter in some cases, because obviously the O can because it has higher melee priority and it has a little bit more pressure with the melee when it's like, charging forward. You have to try and break its maneuver armor, right? But the Todesritter can definitely do that, right? It's the same as the Dovin. The Dovin can stop the O from pursuing, right? It probably is probably easier to do it with the Dovin than the Toad. Though to be fair, yeah, it is easier to do because you just gotta press one button, right? And like with the Todesritter, it's either you full charge into one uncharge while they're boosting, and that will stun them, or you can full charge and like spam your beam guns on your shoulders. It's probably obviously faster to just to full charge and then uncharge shot, while they're boosting towards you. And also, like, the Todesritter has got way more weapons to keep suits at bay if need be. You know what I mean? But yeah, don't get me wrong. Like the O is pretty cool. It's pretty hype, but it's just pretty simple, and it gets boring and repetitive. And like, a lot of players, like especially like some of the Japanese players, like they like the simple stuff, I guess, over like the more advanced stuff, which I don't know. That's just what my take from like the way they react to the O. It's just like, and like some people would say like the O is like the best suit. I'm like, how? Like, it's the best frontline suit. It's not the best overall because it only does one thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what does it do that the Todesritter can't do? High melee priority, high damage in melee. That's literally it. But the Todesritter can actually do pretty high damage in melee, and what it doesn't do in damage that the O does, it does way more in the range DPS and stunning suits. You know, the O, is pretty much once it's shot all three of its beam shots, you know, it's not doing nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's literally not doing nothing. I mean, yeah, hurts a melee, but what happens when you can't get into for melee? Because like everything's just pinning you down. It's exactly what I said at the start when I said they're always gonna have problems against all these shooting suits. Um, yeah, that's still a factor. Um, I've had people struggle getting close to with the O. Um, I've seen people like say I'll probably do better with this another suit because the O is pretty fat, right? He's a fat boy, and like once you burn your dodge roll, you just basically eating everything, right? So literally eating everything. You eat all the damage. That's why he's fat. because he ate too much damage. Um, like you know,
Really?
it's not something that is as special as the Todesritter. Like the Todesritter literally does everything. It's all round. The O is this one-dimensional suit. It's why I put the O below the Dovin, because Dovin can do way more in pre any scenario, right? As long as he's got his chest particle cannon, which I've got a video where I teach people how to cancel that. If you're new to the game, you don't know how to cancel stuff. Like, try and find that video. Um, it's this trick. Every Dovan player should learn this trick. I remember that was the video. You know, if you as long as you have that chest battle cannon, anything that gets close to you, you can basically break it, stop it in its tracks, maneuver armor, everything. If it has damage control level 2, you need to shoot both the particle cannons because it's double, but you can cancel it, right? You cancel it for the suits that don't require that, and then you don't cancel it for suits with damage control level 2. And yeah, you just break their damage control, um and you can go in for melee, or you downswing them. You don't have to do double downswing. You can downswing them, shoot them with the beam rifle, shoot them with the cannons. It's all up to you, man. Like the Dovin can do things in close range, um, and do things from long range, but it just doesn't have the versatility as the Toad, as in terms of survivability, because obviously the Toad's got a dodge roll, and also it gains a double dodge roll in Hades and becomes faster, uh, you know, which is a little bit more useful when you actually get in close, So it's also useful at range too, because obviously you're a lot faster, you're harder to hit, um, you do more damage, you know. It makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. Uh, yeah, I just see the Toad being better than the O. Don't get me wrong, this suit is a good frontline suit, as you can see. Like, once we get in, like, you literally can't get us off of you. You know what I'm saying? That's the strength of the O. Uh, once we've confirmed at least one melee attack onto you, you're pretty much going to get all the melees onto you. All the melee damage and stuff like that. High melee pro, just ignore the Zeta's downswing, just smack him. Like, it's good at that, and that's literally all it's good at. But once you shut that down, if you shut the O down like that and it can't go in, then it's completely useless. That is my whole point. Why I say the Todesritter is better, and even the Dovin's better, because it doesn't, they don't need to go in. If you can't go in, like with the Toad, like you can shoot. If you don't really go in too much with the Dovin, but if you wish to and you can't, well, you just shoot, right? So this is my whole point. I didn't really mention XS because XS doesn't fit in that category. XS is basically a general support. You don't go in with the XS at all, and if you in XS's face, it dies. Like if you see my Tristan video, uh, when the XS was in my face, it literally got one comboed. So yeah, I don't really rate the XS as an all-around like the best suit. It's a good range suit, but even then, like I feel like the Dogen's much better than the XS. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that for another video when I do the top tier list. Um, but the XS is basically like it's basically a support with the Dodro. We finally did it, guys, man. We got BB to give us a support with the Dodro, man. Let's go. Um, basically, that's basically it, man. Like, but one more thing I want to talk about is the FA Shiki. The FA Shiki, you know, I've heard some people say it's better than the C1 or it's on par with the C1. Some of the Japanese say like this is undoubtedly like the best support. Like I'm like, what? Like okay, I know like Japanese players they get like you know when Japanese say something everybody's like oh like these guys are the best of the best so they must be correct. It's like nah man, they're just overexcited, bro. Like, you know, when they get a cool looking suit, because it is cool looking and it is strong, but the best of the best, sir? Nah, there's no way. It's not versatile enough to be the best of the best. If you said that alright, the FA Shiki has an instant stun beam rifle, and cannons that stun, and it had balances, well, now we're talking because it hits like a truck. It would be able to defend itself against anything that pulls up on it. General pulls up on it, instant stun beam rifle. Raid tries to pull up on it, chest particle cannon, stop them in their tracks, break maneuver armor. You know what I'm saying? Like missiles, help break maneuver armor. Um, Balances. I can boost backwards and tackle. I can chest particle counter someone while I'm boosting and then downswing them and then shoot them with the missiles. Or now we're talking the best support in the game. We haven't got it yet, right? It's not doing that, right? It's not. If it could do that, it would be the best support in the game, but it doesn't. It needed those stuff to be the best support in the game. Because it'll be way more versatile. It'll literally be like a general at that point without a dodge roll. And that's what you want for a support to be the best support. Or it just has to be a walking fortress that can't be stunned, that has crazy amounts of damage and have defenses. Kind of like the Faz, but imagine the Faz with the same stats as the Hammer. Then we're talking. I feel like that's what the Gelmok is gonna be, and that will be the number one support if it's anything like that. And probably have balances too. It probably wouldn't need balances because it would be just a walking fortress, tanky, and just be able to funnel you down. Yeah. But the C1 is still undoubtedly the best support because it's still the more versatile suit out of both of them. It does everything, right? Like the suit was in these games this time. Like the Hammer one was on my team, but the last match when I was on the Todesritter, I didn't even feel that FA Shiki's presence. But with the C1, I always feel that presence, man, because I'm always on my knees. But anyway. That's for another video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. God bless.